Jared Dillian. Own your money, own your life.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is the Jared Dillian Show. Yes, one of my top 5 movies, and nobody believes me when I tell them this. One of my top 5 movies is The Gambler, and not the original with James Caan, the new one with Mark Wahlberg and Brie Larson and John Goodman and what's her name? I can't remember. Anyway, it's very good. It's actually not good. Here's the thing. It's not really a good movie, but I love it. I love it because of the discussions on money. It's really, really good. And John Goodman plays a loan shark. And he's he's got this speech which is just epic. It's absolutely epic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I haven't seen it probably in about 2 years. I should watch it again. Anyway, the plot is Mark Wahlberg is an English professor, and he is a degenerate gambler, like the worst kind of the worst kind. And he gets in over his head with loan sharks. So he goes to John Goodman to ask for a loan. And this is the speech that he gives him. And this speech is heavily edited because there's lots of swear words in here. So Mark Wahlberg says, I've been up $2.5 million. And John Goodman says, what you got on you? Nothing. What you put away? Nothing. You get up $2.5 million. Any butthead in the world knows what to do. You get a house with a 25-year roof. You put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% to pay your taxes, and that's your base. That's your fortress of blanking solitude. That puts you for the rest of your life at a level of screw you. Somebody wants you to do something? Screw you. Boss pisses you off? Screw you. Own your house, have a couple of bucks in the bank, don't drink. That's all I have to say to anybody on any social level. Did your grandfather take risks? Yes. I guarantee he did it from a position of screw you. A wise man's life is based around screw you. The United States of America is based on screw you. You have a Navy, greatest army in the history of mankind. Screw you. We'll screw it up ourselves. So a lot of people like this speech, and I recommend you go on YouTube and check out the original version because my delivery is nowhere near as good as John Goodman's. It's just absolutely epic. So, but a lot of people like this speech, but they don't really know why. And this is a critical, you know who pointed this out? Is Nassim Taleb. Okay, the great Nassim Taleb, former trader, philosopher, many things. And he said this is a critical 1-minute lecture to understand independence, anti-fragility, screw you money, self-ownership, and other things. You get up $2.5 million, you get a house with a 25-year roof, put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% to pay your taxes, and that's your base. That's your fortress of solitude. That puts you, for the rest of your life, at a position of screw you. Okay? So, I am in a position of screw you, for sure. Okay? If I want to quit this show, I can quit. I like being here. I'm here because I like being here. I like talking to you. But if I wanted to quit, I could quit. If I wanted to quit the newsletter, I could quit. If I wanted to quit everything, I could quit. Screw you. Got money in the bank. I got lots of cash. The house is paid for. Own the house. Car is paid for. Own the house. I'm self-employed. I don't have a boss. Self-ownership. And I don't drink. I don't need anybody for anything. I operate from a position of screw you, you know. And if I'm putting up with people's crap, it's because I want to put up with people's crap. If I don't want to put up with it, then I don't have to put up with it. And do I take risks? Absolutely. I take gigantic risks with stocks, with commodities, with interest rates. I take risks. I take personal risks. And I do it from a position of screw you, you know. And I probably got to this point year and a half. No, how long ago? I hadn't paid off the house. About 3.5 years ago. If you have a mortgage on your house, you are not dealing from a position of screw you. You're working for the bank, which we've said a bunch of times before about debt. Okay, if you have debt, you have a boss. Even if you're self-employed, you have a boss. You have a boss. The boss is the bank. And actually, it occurs to me as I'm giving this lecture that in a couple of months, I'm not going to be dealing from a position to screw you because I'm going to have debt. I'm taking out a loan. And my goal is to pay that sucker off as fast as humanly possible because I don't like being in that position. You know what I mean? I don't like being in that position. So if you don't own your car, if you have debt on your car, you are not dealing from a position of screw you. If you have a job at a big company, if you work for a large organization, you're not dealing from a position of screw you. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And Brie Larson is terrific. And Mark Wahlberg is terrible in this movie. It's not actually, I take that back. It's not his worst movie. It's his second worst movie. His worst movie is The Happening. The M. Night Shyamalan movie. And my wife loves that movie. Like, oh my God, this is so bad. Why do we keep making Mark Wahlberg teachers? He's not a teacher. You know what he is? He's a bodybuilder. That's actually like a good character for him when he was in Pain and Gain. Okay, so that's a good Mark Wahlberg role, but not a science teacher, not an English teacher. It's implausible. Okay. By the way, if you are gambling like Mark Wahlberg and you are in over your head with loan sharks, you are also not dealing from a position of screw you. If you are doing drugs, you are not dealing from a position of screw you. Capiche? I should really change the whole focus of my financial education. I say that you want to live a stress-free financial life. I also want you to deal from a position of screw you. By the way, here's a quote from Humphrey Bogart. The only good reason to have money is this, so you can tell any SOB in the world to go to hell. Long before he was Hollywood's famous tough guy, Bogart began his acting career on the stage. After serving in the Navy during World War I, he got his start playing a handful of very juvenile roles in drawing room and country house comedies. In 1920, he scored a leading role in the comedy Cradle Snatchers and received a bevy of positive notices. It was during this time he was said to have kept $100 in his dresser drawer at all times, calling it his screw you money. Instead of taking a part he didn't want, he could just say screw you. So you're allowed to take risks, and I encourage you to take risks, gigantic risks. Just make sure you do it from a position of screw you. See you next time. I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.